Coming to you from the Black Goat 39 studios, the home of this podcast. This is the Guru Talkin Sports podcast. Now here's your host, the Guru of Sports. Hello, sports fans, and welcome. Welcome to episode 89A, a special edition of the Guru Talkin Sports podcast. I'm your host, the Guru of Sports. Today, I'm going to be doing a little bit something special, something a little bit different. My co-host, Cousin Aaron, will be back with me tomorrow night. We're going to do side B of this on tomorrow night. Now, I'm coming to you from this point of view only because this is Black Friday. This is Friday after Thanksgiving. And I want to also say thank you guys for your support. Thank you guys for all the things that you done for us. You've written us, you texted us, you tweeted us, you did everything that you could, and I just wanted to say thank you. I'm going to do a few little things today. This is not going to be a full podcast, but I do want to run down a few things that I want you guys to know. And like I mentioned before, that my cousin Aaron will be back with us tomorrow night. And like I said, we have another podcast to do tomorrow night, but I wanted to make sure that I got a few things in from yesterday on Thanksgiving that I seen, and I wanted to make sure that I have enough time to explain these things. Now, first off, I want to say that Thanksgiving has always been a really, really big holiday for me and my family. And I really appreciate everyone out there. You guys are awesome. You guys are amazing. And your support of this podcast makes it 100% special to me, special to Cousin Aaron, and special to everyone on my staff. I'm going to go down and I'm going to talk about them and how much I appreciate them, and I want to give my special thanks to them a little bit later. But now, there were 3 games on yesterday. The first game was, the Detroit annual losing streak, which goes up now to like 15 straight for them losing, and they dropped to 0-10-1. Chicago didn't look any better. I want you guys to know that too. I really watched a little bit. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't watch that much of that game because I did eat a little bit earlier. And that Chicago game was, it was really kind of boring, to tell you the truth. I did watch all of the Raiders game because I am a Raider fan, and I had to watch the Raiders because they were on Thanksgiving. And I also got to give a shout out to my company for giving me this Friday off. Usually I will be working right after the holiday, and I want to give them thanks for giving me that, extra day off. So now I don't have to return back to work until Monday, which is kind of cool. Which means that probably after this, I'm going to get up, I'm going to get dressed, take a shower, get dressed, and I'm probably going to go out and try to do a little bit of Black Friday shopping. Not much because, this guru is going to have my butt if I spend too much money. Anyway, I want you guys to know that that Chicago game was really, really bad. I really was pulling for Detroit. Detroit should have won that game. They should have won that game. After DeAndre Swift got hurt, and I like I said, there was just bonehead plays and bonehead stuff that I saw. Matt Nagy, I don't know, it was rumors that he was going to be fired after this game. I think he might still have his job, which is, unbelievable. Andy Dalton didn't play that bad as well. Andy Dalton did pretty good. And Nagy's play calling just sucks. I mean, I've seen people in right at their end zone. Yeah, run the ball out just a little bit. Pass it out if you can to get some extra yards, so you can't back yourself up into a hole. This guy runs the ball like 4 times. I was like, my goodness, pass the ball out there. Make an attempt. That game was just really unwatchable. I hate to say that, but Detroit, I was really pulling for you guys, and I don't know what you guys got to do to beat anybody this season. But so goes Detroit, and so goes Chicago, which is one of the games, like I said, I really didn't pay attention to. Now, in the third quarter, I did watch all the Raider game. Third quarter, I really liked this. I thought this was pretty good. That touchdown run by Marcus Mariota was really good. Really, really good. Heads up playing. And look, the Dallas defense, I'm going to tell you right now, their defense looked like the defense from 2020. They didn't look really sharp, and they gave up a lot of big plays, especially the 44-yard play to Zay Jones. Zay Jones played really good. Really, really good. I was really impressed by what I saw out of him. I also got to give a big shout out to my man. Big props up to my man Jonathan Abrams. He was a hammer. Dude was just all over the field. And one of the key plays that I thought was really, really important was right after Dallas scored that 100-yard kickoff return. They went for 2, and Jonathan Abrams broke up that play. Now, like I said before, Jonathan Abrams is a man. I mean, he's one of my favorite players. And, you know, we mentioned that last weekend. But Jonathan Abrams is probably one of my favorite players in the NFL. And we saw Darren Waller go down and get hurt. But hopefully he'll be okay. We saw a fight. We saw a couple fights in that game. And Dallas and the Raiders really don't like each other. I really, really know that they don't like each other. Both of them came in the league in 1960. And they both, you know, Dallas in the NFL and the Raiders in the AFL. And they look like they just haven't seen each other in a while. And they look like they really hate each other as well. I thought the 41-yard touchdown pass to Michael Gallup was really strong. The TD was taken away with 2 penalties. And they ended up taking a 3 on one of these a little bit later on in the fourth quarter. The 32-yard touchdown pass to Dalton Schultz was amazing because the number 52, I can't think of his name right off. You know, Guru's bad with names. But number 52 was just allowed him just to run down the middle to make that touchdown pass or touchdown catch. Prescott was over like 200 yards in the fourth quarter, which was really, really key for them because they needed to keep pace with the Raiders because the Raiders just came out looking like the fighters that they were. And, Derek Carr, you got to give big props to Derek Carr. He told those guys in that locker room that he's going to try to will them to a win, which he did. And I think it's a really, really good thing. Deshaun Jackson looked really good. He had over 100 yards receiving. These guys, I mean, like I said, the Raiders look good. They played good yesterday, but it's really inconsistent. They didn't look good against Kansas City. And like I said, they just been up and down and up and down. And it's just really hard. One of the things that I noticed was that Anthony Brown, 4 personal fouls, PIs, 4 PIs. And the biggest one was the one at 5:54 in the overtime period. And like I said, and then they jumped off sides when they was about ready to kick the field goal. It was a mess. I mean, literally the game was a mess. I'm looking at the stat line for this. 28 penalties between the two, 14 each on both Dallas and the Raiders. 276 yards in penalty yards. Wasn't a great game. And that was the most since 2016. Each team was penalized 14 times. Was really, really crazy. Dallas had 166 yards in penalty, and that broke a franchise record for a game. It was unbelievable. Okay, the third game I really didn't watch because I was really, really so excited about the Raiders win. Bills destroyed the Saints in New Orleans, and the Bills now, they have that big matchup against New England coming up pretty soon. And the Saints, they just look terrible. Matt Breida, Georgia Southern product. Big shout-outs and big props to Georgia Southern. That is also the college of Dante Guru. He went there, graduated from there. Really proud of him. And like I said, I'll mention him a little bit later on in this episode, side A. All right, like I said, New Orleans just had no chance against Buffalo. Buffalo came out and did what they supposed to do. Now, after getting punched in the mouth by Indianapolis last week and, the recent loss to Jacksonville, I think they're coming around. So I got to give big props out to them. Okay. Now, I do want to say that when we get back to the side B on Saturday night, tomorrow night, I'm going to start running down the games that kind of matter in the NFL. Games that matter in the NFL is big because now we're into the meat of the schedule. Now we're starting to see teams line up for playoff position. And like I said, we're not going to mention anything like the Jacksonville-Atlanta game. Who cares about that game? Only the people in Jacksonville and Atlanta. Yes, I am a Jaguar fan as well, but you know what? We got to keep it moving because now we're talking about teams that are going into the playoffs and trying to make a playoff run. These teams are more important than maybe the Jaguars, the Texans, who else? The Jets. Oh, man. I hate to say this. Cousin Aaron's going to get on me, but Washington, these teams are not going anywhere. So we definitely got to focus on the teams that are going in and making a serious run. Now, I do want to mention something about college. Now, this rivalry weekend is coming up, and you got Alabama and Auburn in the in their annual game that they play. Louisville is going to play Kentucky. North Carolina is going to play North Carolina State. Washington is going to play Washington State. Also on Saturday, you got Florida State, Florida. Indianapolis, Purdue at 3:30 on tomorrow afternoon. You got Oregon State, Saturday at 3:30. And here's a big rivalry that nobody really talks about. But I really like this matchup because it goes back to one of the games that I remember when I was a kid. And this one is Grambling and Southern. Grambling and Southern, HBCU, is probably one of the biggest games and one of the games that I usually watch. Now, you got Doug Williams, the great Doug Williams from Grambling. He was in there. Eddie Robinson, the great coach from Grambling, was in there. I still look at that game as a big rivalry game. And that's going to be 5 p.m., I think, on NBC or NBC.com or something like that. But the biggest game that I'm going to talk about right now is no other than my Ohio State Buckeyes. The number 2 team in the nation are going up north to play the Michigan Wolverines. I hate to say that name, but I do. I have to say it. My buddy Rob is going to kill me if I don't. Michigan, the Wolverines. This will be the 116th time they played this game. Michigan owns it a little bit. They're 58 wins, to Ohio State's 51 wins. But since 2000, did you know that Ohio State has only lost 3 games to Michigan? And they're right now they're hot. Ohio State just blew out Michigan State last weekend, and they're an 8.5-point favorite, which I'm going to try to find. I'm going to try to bet on that game. But, I really like Ohio State, but honestly, to tell you the truth, I am kind of nervous because Michigan is Michigan, and they are sneaky, But what can we say about this game? Is this the year? Is this the year that Harbaugh finally wins a game against, Ohio State? Because if you look at it this way, everything that Ohio State has done this year, even with the slip up and fall to Oregon, Ohio State has to win this game. Because if they win this game, they'll be favored in the Big Ten championship, and they'll be looking to punch their ticket into the college football playoff. Nothing's written in stone. Nothing is written in stone. But I really feel as though that Ohio State can pull this game out. Now, I've heard a lot of the pundits and all the prognosticators and all the experts say that this might be a 10-point game by Ohio State. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm nervous. I'm going to be honest with you. I am nervous as an Ohio State fan. But I tell you the truth, Ohio State has to win this game. Yeah, so does Michigan. They have to win this game because if Michigan can knock off Ohio State, they have a clear path to the college football playoffs. And we got to see what they're going to do, what either team is going to do in the Big Ten championship. Because, like I said, that's not a real lock either. That's not a lock. But I tell you, I'm really, really excited about Ohio State, Michigan tomorrow afternoon at 12 o'clock. There's nothing on my schedule for tomorrow at 12 o'clock. I'm going to be sitting here. I'm going to be watching that game. I'm going to, all week I have wore nothing but gray, black, and red. And I believe in my boys. Chris Olave is going to be a deep threat. He's going to be out there, and I hope he has a great game. But Ohio State has more weapons on offense, and I really think that they can get the job done. But I'm going to tell you, I'm serious, and I'll say this once again. I'm about as nervous as a hooker in church right now because I really want Ohio State to win this game, and I really think that they can win this game. But there's a possibility that Michigan could pull the upset. And like I mentioned before, Michigan is number 6 in the country. That could put them in the top 4 if they win this game. And Ohio State could drop out of the top 4 because they got 2 losses. Georgia's still undefeated. Alabama slipped down because of what they did. They put Ohio State above them because of what they did to Michigan State. I still like Ohio State's chances. But I'm going to be honest, I am nervous about it. Okay. That's basically it. Like I mentioned before, I want you guys to know that, I am going to change up the format for tomorrow. Some things are going to be going away. Some things are going to be staying. But some things are going to be changing because the dynamic of what's going on in the program right now and what's going on in sports right now. I do want to mention that, hey, we haven't talked college basketball. There was a big upset last night. Rick Pitino's Iona beat number 10 Alabama. Yes, that was the first time they beat a top team. Iona has beat a top team since 1980, a long, long time ago. And I think Iona beat North Carolina State or something like that. If I'm correct, Guru remembers a lot of things, but then again, he forgets a lot of things. If I was correct, Iona was coached by Jim Valvano. I have to check that. Don't quote me. I don't want to put out any false information. Never do. But the thing about it is that I want you guys to know that when I speak, I'm not like E.F. Hutton, people listen. But the thing about it is that I try to give you the best sports knowledge, the best of everything that I have, that I'm going to put on this podcast to make sure that you guys listen, to make sure you guys think about it, and make sure that you guys know that I'm giving you the best that I can. As for my crew, Caden Guru. Now, I joke about him all the time, but my youngest son is very, very special because he's got a really, really good life. I'm trying to raise him the right way, and I really appreciate him. He really wants to get fired from this podcast, but the thing about it is that he is not going anywhere. Him and Goody. Goody, I got to tell you, I don't know about Goody. Goody says he wants to do a lot more and do things, but he just sits here and looks at me like he's doing right now. And I just don't understand him, but, hey, we got to give a shout out to Goody. My brother, Ray Guru, I appreciate you. Ray Guru, you do a lot. And you always get on me about making sure that things are straight for this podcast and making sure that we get the word out there to people. And Ray Guru has been a very, very great advocate for me to help me put this podcast together and put this podcast out into the hands of everyone out there that can hear my voice. Also want to give a shout out to Derek Guru. Derek Guru was my co-host for a while, and I really appreciate the contribution and the dedication that he gave to the podcast. During his work schedule that got really, really hectic, he wasn't able to come on and wasn't able to give the percentage, the 100% that he usually normally gives. So we had to, make sure that we slide him back a little bit, but he's still a very, very integral part of this podcast. And I appreciate you. I appreciate, your family, the queen. I appreciate the little lady. I appreciate, the big lady as well, the big daughter as well. And I love you guys. I love you guys very much. Dante Guru. Now, he's my right-hand man. Believe it or not, Caden Guru is my left-hand man. He always makes sure that everything is straight on my left side. Dante Guru is my right-hand man. He makes sure that everything's straight on my right side. But the thing about it is that both of them are both important to me because they keep me balanced. They keep me sane. They keep me laughing. They're great kids. Like I mentioned before, Dante Guru is a Georgia Southern alumnus, graduated from Georgia Southern. I'm really proud of him. He's a really good man. And believe me, when that day comes that you're going to be a good husband and good father, and I'm trying to teach you guys to do things that Big Guru ran into and didn't do right. I make sure that you guys have a good path to your futures and making sure that you guys do what you're supposed to do. Cousin Aaron, I want to say thank you for you. I want to say thank you for you and Annie. Appreciate you guys. You guys have been very, very integral in this podcast and everything that the Guru has been doing for the longest time. I wanted to give back. And I wanted to say, you know what? Right now is the good time to bring in Cousin Aaron and have a little bit of the spotlight on him. Because like I mentioned before, that it's not about me. This podcast is okay, but the thing about it is that I want to make sure that I promote everything out there and put on the best people on there and get their platforms out there as well. I know I'm a little bit like a creator, and I try to do the things in the right manner. But now, if you heard in the background, you heard Ms. Guru and the kids out there singing and having a good time. Like I said, this is Friday, so I'm gonna be off until Monday. So I really appreciate them too. Like I mentioned before, Cousin Aaron, I really appreciate you. And I want to make sure that Cousin Aaron, get his platform out there. I noticed it a long time ago on Facebook, and I always commented on it. I thought he did a great job. I brought him in because, like I said, I can have another right-hand man, I can have another left-hand man or whatever. But the thing about it is that he fits the format for what I'm doing right now. I really appreciate him. Really appreciate you and Annie for what you've done and your continuous support of this podcast. I want to mention all my friends and people out there, my friends and the fans and everyone out there that listens to this podcast. Without you, this can't go on. Like I said before, this is episode 89A. Now, I didn't get to 89 episodes just by chance. I got to 89 episodes because I put out something that people wanted to hear. And people wanted to hear what the Guru had to say. Like I said, there's going to be changes, and there's going to be changes next year as well. This podcast might go up to an hour. It might. It depends on what's going on. Now, I can carry a episode for 45 to an hour, which is not a problem. But the thing about it is that when I brought in Cousin Aaron, I wanted you guys to know that I do have a lot of people out there that support this podcast. A lot of people that have platforms that I wanted to make sure that I can promote and help them make it to their next level as well. One day, you never know. Cousin Aaron might have his own podcast. But the thing about it is that he's with me right now, and I really, really appreciate the job that he's done for the short period of time that he's been on here. I appreciate everyone. And like I said, my friends, my fans, the guys and girls and ladies and gentlemen that listen to this podcast, I really appreciate you. I want to make sure that it's funny. I want to make sure that it's, basically clean most of the time. But, there is some times I might have to use a few choice words about certain things and certain situations that I see. I'm really thankful for a lot of things. I'm really thankful for my crew. I'm really thankful for the opportunity that I have to put this podcast on the air. Really, really appreciative, grateful, and thankful for everything that I've had. My thing is that, hey, look, I want to give back a little bit. Now, as you know, I battle with PTSD. I'm not going to go totally deep into this, but if you listen to episode 84, and episode 84 stands out to me as probably one of the most challenging and difficult things to talk about. Episode 84 proved to me that, I can talk about what's going on in my life. It shows that I can kind of relate to the people that are battling things out there. I want to say that I'm thankful for the people in my life. Now, there's people in my life that that come across, I run across. They come in my life, but I'm still trying to figure out why. Why in the sense that, what, God put these people in my life for a reason. And I feel as though that me being in these people's lives, everyone's lives, it's just to touch them and to make sure that I give back a little bit something that's good to them. I work with a lot of people, and I have a lot of friends at work, and I just, like I want to mention that, one of my best friends, my greatest friends, she's a really good person. Like I said, I'm not going to do shout outs right now. I will mention her on side B, but I want you to know that I'm in her life for some reason, and I don't know what it is, but if I can help out someone, I'm always there to help them out. I try to give back, and I try to live my life of service to the other person, to people. I'm not going to make this religious, but I want to say that, hey, you know what? God wants you to be able to help people when they need help. And maybe because I'm in their lives, I'm giving them some kind of help. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up right now. And I want to say thank you once again. Thank you for your support. Thank you for just being a part of the Guru Talkin Sports podcast family. Thank you for just letting me being able just to speak to you. I know that sometimes I don't, I try to, act a little bit crazy or act a little bit silly or whatever, but it's just comedy. I think one of the things that, my cousin just told me a couple days ago, that laughter is the best medicine for anything. And I do want to mention my uncle Gary. Appreciate you, because he's helped me through a lot of these things. Like I said, my battle with PTSD is still ongoing, but I'm trying to get out of the 38-year hole that I've been in. And I appreciate you. I appreciate my cousin Dame. I appreciate everyone. Thank you guys. And like I said, we'll be back tomorrow night with episode 89B, the B side of this. For everyone out there, be safe. Enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend. I'll see you back here tomorrow. I want to say that sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, from my family, from everybody in my crew's family, I appreciate you guys, and I want to thank you guys for giving me a little bit of your time. I know that you're out there shopping. I know you're out there spending all that money. You're probably online right now trying to get that PlayStation 5 or so. But believe me, think about one thing. Think about what you're thankful for. Think about what you're grateful for. And think about the people in your lives that you might touch and you might give some thanks to. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And I will see you back here tomorrow night. Take care of yourself. Have a blessed Black Friday. God bless you all. Take care of yourselves. And the Guru will see you real soon. Later.